Welcome to the bridge of the Enterprise. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, when they did the Picard series, I had some mixed feelings about the way that they did it, but I think they quailed everyone's concerns in the last episode when Geordi revealed, hey, I restored the Enterprise D. Let's go check it out. And everybody walking in and the actors just perfectly portrayed their emotions that honestly we were feeling too, being able to see the Enterprise D in all of its glory once again. Now, whether you're a original Trekkie or whether you're a next generation Trekkie or whether you're into some of the newer shows, let's all agree that the ship was the star of this show. I think we can all agree on that. So today on RB's Toy Box, I want to take a little tour around the collection that I have of all of the different ships that I have collected over the years, and I hope that you enjoy it. So, Scotty, or I guess I could beep it. Scotty, beam me up so we can go over and we can check out my collection of our ships here on RB's Toy Box.
Into the magic on my fun-filled stage. RB's Toy Box is great for kids of any age. From Star Trek to A-Team and retro toys too. Come join on my journey, making videos just for you.
And welcome back to RB's Toy Box. Now, we're out in the Toy Box looking at today the different Star Trek ships and things that go with the ships in the collection. Now, I've got quite a few, so we're going to try to go through these as quickly as I can. Probably won't hit all of them, but we'll get the majority of them on the different shelves upstairs and down today. So this is probably where I want to start because I always looked at this as the showcase piece, right? We all have that one thing in our collection that we, kind of check this out. This is really big, or it's really cool, or it's really expensive, or it's a little whatever. And I made a video on this. You want to go back in the history of RB's Toy Box and take a look at that. Very detailed, and I have multiple videos of this actually, but I think the first one I did has like 25,000 views or something on it. So it's back when this was first coming out and people were looking for a really good reason or bad reason not to spend 500 bucks. And then this one came out after that. And then shortly after they came out with this, they did a couple little accessory kits or something like that. And then they got rid of everything. You can now get these on Amazon really, really cheap, like 200 bucks. So they really come down in price. It's going to be like everything else that once they get rid of the overstock, then the prices will go back up, but it'll be 10 years before it gets anywhere close to what it was retail, just because of the way that they did the rollout on it. They marketed it to the wrong people. Just saying, they messed up on that. They marketed this to 8-year-olds. 8-year-olds aren't spending $500 on a Playmobil toy. My vintage is spending this kind of money. So we got that right there. These are really cool. These are just want to show them while I'm here. These are signed, autographed cards of all the Klingons that were in the series and in the movies. I got that from Crumb's World up north of Orlando. Great people. You got to check them out. They had these behind the counter for just the right person. And when they found out how much Star Trek stuff I had and how much I love Star Trek, then I became the recipient of being able to get a hold of those and blessed to be able to do it. I want to quickly move over to this right here. Now, my daughter got me this for Christmas, and it's really fun. I don't know if we'll be able to hear some of the sounds. We'll try it here, but...
Enterprise. Transporter room energized. I'm a doctor, not an engineer. Standard procedure, Captain.
You are away from your post, mister.
Captain, get in the chamber.
Deck 5, sir.
Now you're making sense.
So this is the Hallmark Christmas tree topper and the Christmas tree ornaments. They're really, really cool. They play a whole, not the whole episode, but a big snippet of the Mirror episode, which is kind of cool. So you want to definitely, and again, that's one of those that just lights up really nice. It has the different lights and stuff in it. My daughter got me that. Actually, back when we did the COVID Conundrum on the bridge of the Enterprise at the Nutrizolum Studios while it was still in Kingsland, Georgia, and they've since moved that up to Sandusky, Ohio. Now, this is the playset that you noted from, I'll just turn this around, you noted from the intro. And this is a really nice little playset that you can get a hold of. They're still out there in circulation. But the one thing that everybody, including myself, has trouble with, and for those of you that do any type of 3D work, or not 3D, 3D printing work, this is a good opportunity for you. We all lose these little connector pieces. So if you have the capability of putting those together and then putting them up, and let me know down in the link below that you've got those, I'd love to be able to get those from you. Here is a board ship over here. Now this is a Playmates board ship, but what I did is I took it completely apart and I put in Christmas lights. These are LED, they're the flat LED lights, they're not pointy. And then I drilled out all the little holes all the way around it a little bit bigger, and then just pop them all in. It turned out fantastic. You should try it. It's not a very difficult project, and it just really lights it up, makes it very much nicer. And then we got this little makes little sounds and stuff, kind of cute. Little cells light up, and then we got this over here, Funko Pop. You know, the infamous scene there at the end of the movie. These are nice lamps right here. The ship lights. Try to get that in the camera frame here, but then the cells light up, the insides light up right here. Let's see if I can do that. Yep. And it's just really nice. I have a few of those. They're really hard to get a hold of, and I've got I think I have 3 of them in various places and throughout, but it's just right place, right time. Try to get a hold of one. And I got other little things like this, a little thing you can take notes with, and you know, let me get the camera down here. I added a little pin over to the side of it so you can write it on here, but it has the sound effects and stuff to go along with it. That kind of stuff is really cool. All right, so let's go down and look on the shelves real quick, and we'll look at the next section here.
Fascinating.
All right, so on this first shelf, I've got the Enterprise D. I've got a couple of these in storage here and there. Playmates came out with these. I don't know why they never came with the stands. Now the Battle version came with a nice stand, but it didn't seem like Playmates wanted to come out with those, early on. Got the Magellan. This is actually an alarm clock over here, so it's got a little readout right there, and then it plays, little sounds and stuff. You can set it clock down here. I've got back here the Enterprise D that was used in the kind of the last episode there in the Next Generation, where it has the extra nacelle and the phasers coming out the top. That right there is actually a CD holder, CD-ROM. So that's, back in the 90s you can get all kinds of stuff like that. And that is a snow globe. I have 2 different versions of that. I'll show you that in just a moment with the bird of prey in it. And then I have a couple on this first shelf of the Matchbox, heavy die-cast metal, heavy. And then they're separable, and then they're kind of a pain in the neck to get back and forth. Next shelf down here, I've got the Runabout, and then of course the Romulan ship. This one's really, really nice, and they're getting really expensive. If you come across these, you want to get a hold of them, because naturally they're completely out of production, and I don't see Playmates coming out with anything other than, the parent ships. But this one, I love the scheme on this one. Very, very nice. And then several of us, when they had Think Geek, they had these different like LED scanner readout kind of things, and I got a hold of a few of those and put them in different places. Of course, everybody's got one of these back here at the Playmates. This is a game, like a card set of sorts. And then I got another one of the Shuttlecraft back here. Just pull that up. Oops, wrong way. Pull that up right there. And then here's an alarm clock back on this one. cutesy little game, and then this also held 3.5-inch floppy disks. Who remembers the floppy disks? And then we got this guy right here of the newer series. I don't have very much of the newer series, just letting you know that. All right, let's move over here to this shelf. A couple of things in here. That's from the engineering playset. I'll talk about that more in a minute. And then the two different versions. This is the original Playmates version that came out many years ago. And this is the one, the re-release they did just a couple of years ago. I'll probably do a video just for giggles of a side-by-side comparison, because there are a lot of differences between the two in their detail and in their sizing, and some of the issues with the rollout of the new one. A lot of them have the LED connector board burns out on them. I have resoldered those for some friends a lot. This is a 3D. Let me see if I can show you that a little bit better here. You can kind of see it in there. But this lights up very nice. It's one of those like signature pieces that they came through. Really nice stand here. Let's see here. We got down on the next row here. Just navigate that around. We got the Bird of Prey from Playmates. And this is the A version. Now, this is the movie version that came out. And it has a lot of the sound effects that you have, like beyond just the ship noises like these have. This actually has Kirk's voice and stuff. And the only critique that I have of this wonderful little product here is the fact that they didn't stay with the actual movie. They went with all kinds of different sound effects that have nothing to do with this original show. So we got the C version here, and then the Reliant there. And we go all the way back. That is another one of the snow globes that I was talking about that I have. You can see I need to do some dusting too. This is kind of like, I don't even remember the brand of this here, but it kind of like a Minecraft version. It's kind of weird in that respect. And then this guy right here is, let me pull that up here. So who amongst us didn't have the phone? So this, I can pull it out if you want me to, but that's basically the telephone that you have. And this is in a little statue of the Enterprise there. All right, let's pull this back up and move this back around a little bit. There we go. And now it's time for Arby's Toy Box Tech Tip of the Day. So as you can imagine, dusting here at Arby's Toy Box can be quite a chore. And I've tried to hire a few people, some teenagers, to come over and, you know, try to do some dusting for me. And they've all ran out of the house screaming at the top of their lungs. And, you know, the psychology bills and stuff have been mounting up. So I've stopped doing that. But there's a couple of things when you have antiques or you have vintage toys or things of that nature, you can't just wipe them down with any of the, you know, like Pledge and other chemicals like that you would use for furniture dusting. What you use for these types of things needs to be very specific. As such, I use a paintbrush. Now I have a more detailed video on this on my Facebook channel, but with this you just basically want to get a very, very soft bristle brush. You can get them anywhere. You can get them at Home Depot, you can get them at Lowe's, you can get them at Walmart, you can get them just about anywhere, but you want to get a couple of different sizes, so you know, the larger items like this you can dust, and then some of the smaller ones you can get down in the nook and crannies. Because just wiping them down, even with a dry cloth, is not going to get you into all of the little finer details. And that's where these brushes come into play. So you can wipe those down, get into all the little crevices, and really do a good job. Because part of keeping these things for years and years and years is making sure that you don't have some of that dust that's causing the adhesion of your stickers and such to start pulling things away. So you want to make sure that you go all the way through it and just give it a good brush down, and then you're not done just yet. There's one last step that you have to use. That's over here. away from your face, you want to point it, and then use one of these little guys to blow off what you just loosened up, because it's not always going to get out, especially the little speaker holes and stuff. You want to go down there and blow all that out as well using one of these little guys. They're very inexpensive, about 13, 14 bucks on Amazon, but they work really, really good for dusting in this particular environment. So you want to stay away from, on Amazon and a couple of other places, they have these dusting cloths. They're heavy in chemicals. You want to be very, very careful using those at all. I highly recommend just using dry dusting, you know, no chemicals whatsoever, not even moisture, because we don't want anything to get in and start damaging the texture, damaging the paint, damaging the stickers, anything that's going to be moisture related that would cause that. So just going through with a dry brush, getting everything good all across with the bristles and then blowing it off will help keep your collection in top-notch condition for everyone to come and see for many, many years to come. And that is your tech tip for the day from RB's Toy Box.
Well, fascinating is a word I use for the unexpected.
Now we're in the downstairs area, which is kind of, I don't call it the overflow, but the movie room got so much that I had to move some stuff down here. So let's take a look at a few of the things that I have ship-wise downstairs on the main floor. Now I think quite a few of us have one of these. This is the Playmates Classic Collector's Figure Set from the TV show. And it's personally just the figures. I really wish they would have actually put those in as plastic pieces or something so you could use it as a play set. But otherwise, it's just a complete collection there. And very rare to have checkoff in any of these, by the way. But it is in there. Now, down at the bottom, I have quite a few plates, per se. And these, you can tell I need to do some dusting down here big time. But with the plates, I have several that have the ships with it. I won't go into detail with all of them, but I have quite a few that have the different ships on it, from the Enterprise A and the original NCC 1701, and then I have a couple bird of preys and things of that nature. So we kind of showed you this in the last video, but this is that little play set that uses the Micro Machines. And this is the Battle D. It does come with a stand, but it has these little placard or little plates that go onto it. And these little plungers blow them off when actually using it for a play set. Now, one of the things that I do is when I have something that has like an extra battery compartment, or I have something that has like that where the little plates would cover and snap in, I have a little drawer set upstairs, a little plastic drawer, and it it's where I would go in and put those little pieces, so it's easy for me to find. If you put them and just lay them on the shelf, you're going to find yourself when looking for them because maybe somebody bumped them, moving some stuff around while you're dusting or cleaning, and then you can't find them anymore. So I always put my stuff in little trays or in a little drawer, kind of like this right here, to where you can get these little things at Dollar Tree that you just put some of your smaller collectibles, pins and rank insignias and covers, or even like this, you can go in and just get a little thing for all of your pieces so you don't accidentally bump something and move it. Extra little tip there. Here's one of the V. Now, if you go back through the history of RB's Toy Box a little bit, you'll see I've got a very nice side-by-side video of the Playmates and the Diamond Select Enterprise B. They both have their advantages. Size-wise, they're definitely different. Visually, they're incredibly different. I don't know if they just use a different set of blueprints or what, but really, really different in that respect. And we got the E over here. And of course, they never made a Playmates C. I wish they would have, just so that we could all say that we have the full set here. And who amongst us doesn't have the transporter? And then this, this is really cute. You put your coin right here, and then you hit the button, and then this pulls it inside with the Borg sounds, you know, it's like rah, 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 and pulls it right inside there and drops your coin off. It's kind of cute. And then these here, while this isn't necessarily anything to do with the ships per se, I did want to make mention of it because they are really getting hard to find. And if you can get a hold of one, you want to get one because, like I said, they're getting really, really difficult to find. And I took one and I took it apart and I put a monitor inside it. And with that monitor, I can hook it up to a computer or whatever I want and have my own little Picard display. So you got to look around a little bit for those 4:3 monitors, 4:3, 4/3, and they're like, just to make sure that the aspect ratio is correct for that particular size. But if you have 2 or 3 extra and you want to convert one into a monitor, you can totally do it. You just got to go on there and find one of those monitors for that. Now I do have a few other ones that I'm going to showcase here real quick. And that is a few that are stored in these little drawers here. Again, the smaller things you want to keep put away there. I've got a little Enterprise cup. And then, let's see here, coming across here, I've got these guys right here. One there and one there. And then I have a bunch of the Micro Machine ships like these. These little guys in here. Let me just pull open the lid here. These guys, something like that. And they're down at the store right now. The full set, the whole Micro Machine set. So that's not probably every ship. I mean, I probably got one somewhere that I'm just not thinking, oh, actually, got a couple more. Bear with me. Da-da-da. Here we go. Many would say this is what started it all. The Phoenix, and this is obviously a Playmates one. It's got some sound effects, and the nacelles pull up inside of the ship on the side. This actually moves up and down for that. But I put them together in kind of a display wall with the First Contact complete set, by the way. And put that up there. And then I neglected to show you, I have several ships actually hanging in and throughout the ceiling. So I want to thank you for joining RB's Toy Box today and going through with me most of the ships that I have in my collection and different kind of things that go along with it. The ships were something that I started collecting like the very first things, really, back when they were, most of them were actually still affordable. And it's because back then, this room basically was my office, and I had just a couple of shelves up, and I was like, man, I need to fill those up. So if I just get 2 or 3 ships and, you know, put them in there, it'll fill up the space and it'll look impressive, and that'll be good enough. No. Once we get bit by that bug, man, we gotta roll with it. So I bought another one. Then I bought a couple lots that had several of them in it, and before you know it, I had more stuff than I had space for, and I had to start expanding things out and moving stuff out. And then the kids moved out. And when the kids moved out, hey, we were able to use their rooms too to put stuff from RB's Toy Box and my wife's collections in there as well. But I hope you enjoyed our little walk through the ships today. Stay out there, stay collecting, come back and see us here at RB's Toy Box for our next video. And we sure appreciate you. If you've made it this far, thank you, because most people don't make it this far. We really need everybody to watch all the way through the videos, but I know I get boring, so I apologize. But I got so much I want to showcase for you guys of the different collections. So stay with me and watch these videos, and we'll certainly appreciate it and see you soon.